Mr. Libros Oshoma, what does it mean when a returning officer says that I'm saying this, I'm giving this report under duress?
It means is under the control of any person or authority outside the commission, contrary to the provisions of Section 29(2) of the Electoral Act.
So the law itself foresees this kind of situation?
Yeah, the law foresees this kind of situation, and that's why the law says that officers of the commission shall not be under the control of any other person or authority other than the commission in performing their duties. But the problem here is that if you look at Section 155 of the Act, it says once such acts are validated by the officers, it can only be overturned by a competent court. And because I had expected that with a provision such as this, there should be discretion, that where the officers take decisions, you know, that were instructed outside the control of the commission, then such decision can be invalidated by the commission. But that's not the provision of the Act, and so that's why once it is announced and validated by the officer, then it is by the executive of Section 155.
Is it? Yes. Until
yes, is it overturned by the commission? But then for the questions here, like my friend and colleague did say in Abuja, these are some of the these are some of the challenges that INEC officials face in the performance of their responsibility. And so you find out that these are security issues that are not clearly within the purview of INEC. At the point, he said he had said it before, and he's saying it again. Before he's announced this under duress, and he's announcing it again under duress. Thank God it was caught on camera on international platform. And at the first time he raised that alarm, what did the commission do to protect him? What did the security agents do to ensure that he is protected, so that, you know, we avoid a situation where the commission will now have to go defend a position that, you know, they were compelled to take by external forces.
But another argument would be like, okay, he said that he's under duress to make such an announcement, but with his position, can't he stand his ground and say, no, you're not going to box me in. I'm not going to do this, and you know, just would be using discretion. I'm not in his position. I don't know the number of security personnel that he has, you know, to make him want to hold his ground, to say, look, I won't take this decision, you know, because I know I am protected and I know I'm secure. But if he's not protected, if he's not secure and he's alone, and he knows that his life is threatened, he might just want to, you know, take that decision so that he can, you know, be excused quietly. So these are some of the... So which brings to question again, you know, how do we even protect
you know,
our returning officers?
You remember the chairman also said at the collation center that one corps member was kidnapped, you know, until he was rescued by the, you know, men of the Nigerian police force. So these are some of the challenges that, you know, we also need to begin to look at and raise and find ways of correcting. At the first time he raised the issue, what did the commission do? And now that he has also, you know, you could see him that he was, for him to say it publicly, it means that he was in, you know, in apparent danger. And so really, it is not a matter that you can just, you know, sweep under the carpet like that.
Sorry, I would like to take this up with Mr. Mwagu. You know, there have been issues concerning the lack of smoothness in the process of, you know, from the ballot box to the announcement of results. And many people have, you know, cited our electoral laws as the main obstacle to a smooth transition. So in this regard, as an observer, what does it require? Is it a wholesale amendment of our electoral laws, or does it take a little bit of addition here and there that will facilitate the process and the smoothness of the process, to wit, Or do we jettison some parts and keep some parts? What exactly do we require as far as our electoral laws are concerned in order to have a smooth electoral process?
Thank you. I think that the first thing to do is to appreciate that our electoral law is one of the most amended piece of legislation that you have. We amended in 2010, we amended again, we keep amending, and we try to even amend in 2018. But my quick sense always is that the tragedy of our situation is that the place that we go to for reforms is actually where you have the people who perpetrate some of the problems we want to alleviate. The National Assembly is peopled by politicians who themselves, some way, vicariously benefit from some of the perfidy, some of the electoral perfidy that we see. And in the particular case that we're dealing with from Imo West, the man who is now going to benefit from that perfidy is coming to the National Assembly to come and make laws. So we need to engage the whole process of whether the issue is about law or whether it has to do with our attitude to even the law that we have and our sanction and consequence regime. If a man can come on national television and say that they would use any means, yes, and everybody is cozy about that. So I have a challenge with people thinking that the more laws you have, the more amendments you have, then you resolve the problem. When every constitutional amendment, every electoral reform process that we go to cost us and increase even the cost of doing that. We spent close to 10 billion naira amending the constitution in the assembly that just preceded this one, and all of that, what has it produced for us in terms of value for money? So I am more interested in how do we rejig our consequence and sanction regimes that people do not think that they will be rewarded for bad behavior, that impunity pays, and that an assault on the process will not be punished. So if once we draw these amendments and all of that, the politicians are excited, they are happy. Committees are put together, monies are again devoted to them. At the end of the day, the conspiracy of the executive and the legislature may even hamper that materializing, as you keep seeing. Sometimes they deliberately, sometimes forestall that process, put it in a way that you may not even get to the end result at the end of the day. And you have plethora of examples that you can give for that. So it's to say, how do we deal with crimes? What is our attitude to crimes during election? And I've been having this conversation. Do we deodorize crime during elections? Do we make them cozy by calling them offenses? Do the laws that we have, are they stiffer? Are they stiff enough to deter people who want to commit crimes during elections? If we engage the conversation from that perspective, we are able to put the burden on the people who have responsibility to make laws not for themselves, but to become statesmanly in understanding that if you create a level playing ground, everyone benefits.
Let me ask the security experts that we have sitting next to you there. A returning officer has said on international television that he is giving an election result under duress. What are the other options do you think were available to him that he could have taken? Couldn't he have called the INEC central office to say, this is the situation there? And we also want to assume, I mean, we had other observers there, we had his colleagues there, and he ended up on national TV. What could he have done in terms of security, or if he had enough security training? Is there any leeway to have avoided having to say this on national TV and still remain secure?
Thank you. It's a sad development. You see, security in some calculations is freedom from danger. At the time that man was speaking, you don't even know the state of danger that he's encountering. And if he said it before, he raised the issue before, and he's raising it again, does that not show that there's a breakdown in value chain of security? When he said it before, what actions were taken? And he's saying it again, what actions are taken? I think I commend that fellow for his sense of patriotism. Because no matter the hostage that he was able to voice out openly that, yes, I'm doing this under duress. So this calls to question, you know, the superfluous security arrangement that we have had in this election. He said that you have security or you don't have it. So for me, the man was kidnapped and was in state of hostage. So when you are in that state, what do you do? And the larger picture is that we are sliding into the Hobbesian state of nature, where lawlessness, you know, the lack of rules, and as a matter of fact, life is becoming short, brutish, and meaningless.
Wow.
You see...
You want to make a reaction to that?
Yes, but I just want to add to what Izenwa and the General has said, that our problem is not lack of laws. And like, you know, he did identify, 2002, we amended the Electoral Act for the 2003 election. In 2006, we amended it for the 2007 election. In 2010, we amended it for the 2011 election. We attempted amending it in 2015. Also, that failed. We attempted amending it in 2018 again for the 2019 election. Because I agree that at every turn, there are identifiable issues that you need to correct using the laws. But you find out that for the electoral offenses, they are the same. And by section 50, subsection 1 and 2, empowers the commission to prosecute electoral offenses. But how much of this responsibility also has the commission taken up? Because you find that, like, we also identify that some of the people who perpetrate this, you know, crime are those who you now run to make laws. And when you allow the state attorney generals also to prosecute on your behalf, and then depending on who commits the crime, if the party eventually wins at the state or at the federal, the tendency for the attorney general to enter into a nolle prosecute is also very high in most cases, as we have seen. And then subsequently, you know, the matter is withdrawn. And you no longer hear anything about such matters. And so what that does it encourages further impunity. And so, but if the commission is, you know, takes up this responsibility, in another breath, you can say, oh, the commission might not have funds to execute this, but they have funds to pursue election petition matters, to defend election petition and pre-election matters. You know, it also boils down to what we hold dear. What are the values? So if we see electoral offenses, crimes, as, you know, something that inhibits the effort that we put into election, then we also make, you know, take steps, adequate steps to ensure that, you know, electoral offenses are punished appropriately. Or in some cases, I would want to see a situation where a man or a political office holder is, who has won election fraudulently, and his election is nullified by the court, and then the commission subsequently, you know, charging him for fraud, for electoral offenses. You know, we begin to use all of these as deterrent. It is always very convenient for us to say, well, we've conducted the election, we have other pressing issues. But meanwhile, some of the officers and men we send on assignment are threatened, in some cases are killed. What had happened to those people who killed those, to the people who massacred the core members who were carrying out a national assignment for the commission? You know, we just glossed over it and the matter died down until the next election. So until we begin to take appropriate steps, like I said, the politicians don't want election.
We know that. And so in preparing, just prepare with a mindset of the people that I'm dealing with would not want me to succeed. And so once you have that mindset, you would prepare even times 3. You know, instead of saying, well, I know they don't want election, but I'll just do my best, and then whatever. A man you send on an assignment, raise the first alarm, it's like sending SOS. No response. And then on national and international platform again, he's sending the same SOS. Till now, I have not heard an official statement from the commission